What's up, guys? Synthetic Division here. So today's video, we're going to talk about a deep dive on how I set up my power supplies. Um, Few things I think you need to have. This is just my personal opinion. This is the tools I would recommend: a good, solid Phillips screwdriver with a decent end, a little bit larger for the terminals on the power supply. A set of wire strippers if you need them. You may need them if you're harvesting NEMA plugs like myself. I have a couple of these plugs where I just take an old computer plug and do that with it, where I harvest the ends off. So you'll need those for that. Then I recommend a good small flathead screwdriver like this. That will be to adjust a stepper. And then I actually recommend having a multimeter, and we'll get started there. So this is going to be my new desktop unit. My Bit Solo Player one has been kind of problematic with. I have multiple Bitaxes from different brands, all sorts of stuff like that, and the problem I'm running into is some of them use a 5.5 by 2.1 millimeter barrel jack. And then some of them use a 5.5 by 2.5 millimeter barrel jack. Slightly different. So I've got some new cables. I generally get the 2.1 millimeter barrel jack cables from Solo Satoshi, just because when I buy power supplies and stuff from them, because they have such good pricing, I just order cables with it. Heck, I even get my XT60 cables from them. The other ones, the 2.5 millimeter ones, I have to get from Amazon, and they come from this brand right here. I've showed you guys that before, but I'm going to put that up there just in case you guys need that part number again. You never know. If you're the first time one here, then you might need it. So, and how I tell the difference is obviously they look almost identical, except I put some tape on these ones. This is the 2.5 mil. This is the 2.1 mil. So let's get started, guys. It's pretty straightforward. If you have a meter, I highly recommend having it. I'm going to go ahead and turn the meter on, and actually, I'm going to turn it off for a second. Let's turn it off. I'm going to actually hook the meter up on the negative of this power supply here, on the negative leg, the outputting leg. So on this power supply, live, neutral, ground. Live in the United States is black, neutral is white, and green is ground. Just for you guys in the US, I don't know other countries, so I can't help you there. Okay, so my leads are hooked up to that. Oh, I'm going to have to kneel down and get under the desk to plug it in, but I'm going to plug it in real quick. Almost got a leg cramp. That would have been bad. Right on video, get a leg cramp. Okay, sorry if I bumped the camera there. We are powered up. Let's go ahead and turn the meter on. And it's going to click because it's going to feel the voltage right away. So it's actually at a pretty good voltage there, 5.14. That's pretty solid. That'll be pretty good for any. You got to remember that part of your input voltage for your Bitaxe, and you'll see that on your dashboard. The length of the wire does play into that. These are 1 meter cables, so they were going to take a little bit of that voltage off. Real quick, I'll show you what this power supply is capable of. So we'll turn it all the way down. This thing can drop all the way to 4.25, and then all the way up 5.739. The higher the voltage that's coming into the device, the more inclined you are to hurt a voltage regulator. Okay, so I put mine at 5.12 to 5.15 is a pretty solid area. In fact, I'm going to turn it just up just a tiny bit. There we go. 5.14. I like it. So I'm going to shut the meter off and then unplug the power supply again. So hopefully I don't almost get a leg cramp doing this. And we'll get under there, unplug it. Okay. Back on our feet. Come on, you old man. All right. So we'll get the light is off now. And we'll take these off and we'll actually get our cables hooked up. Okay, so we'll move this out of the way. Grab our new cables. More and more, I'm not generally buying much of the Gamma stuff, the Gamma cables. More and more, I'm buying, the 12 volt devices because, well, we're going to 12 volts. 12 volts is I honestly think a lot of the Gammas should have been 12 volts. I don't, yeah, that's a whole other topic, but I really think Gamma should have been 12 volts. I don't really care for 5 volts. I think the 5 volt is a little weird. All right. So we're set that one on there. Watch your polarity, guys. Negative, positive. These two are negative or positive. These two are negative. I cannot stress this enough. Watch your polarity. Out of all the devices I've killed, I killed one bit disk because I hooked up the polarity backwards and sent 60 amps right to it and murdered it. It burned out so bad it blew a hole through the voltage regulator. So watch your polarity. I can't stress that enough. Okay, I've got my wires in. They went in surprisingly easy, which is weird. But hey, a win is a win. Make sure all these terminals are nice and tight. You don't want any looseness. Now, a tip for you guys that are like me that are stacking Bitaxes like crazy. A lot of these cables come pre-tinned like this. If they come pre-tinned and you are putting more than one on each of these terminals, cut the tinning off, use the wire strippers, and use the bare wire. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, why do you do that? The reason I did this, and this is from my own experience, could be different for anybody else, but I pushed put the wires in and tighten them down. And I did the pull test where I go like this. This is the pull test. You pull on the wire to see if it's tight. When I did the pull test, the lead would pop out. It turns out that with the wires being tinned, the little hold down washer in there would canter just enough to make the wire loose. A loose connection, you will fight and diagnose problems with loose connections. Trust me. It happens in the automotive world and it'll happen in the solo crypto mining world too. Bad connections lead to bad things. So we'll plug it back in. Our green light is on. Now, this is my new desktop unit. It's going to be going over here in the corner. But let's move it right here real quick. And we'll plug in my testing unit, Bitaxe. This is the Vimu one. It's from my Raka stuff. The Vimu one uses the 2.5 millimeter jack. Plug it in. And then I'll access the dashboard from my phone here. And it should boot up. There we go. That was weird. Just started fan. Okay. I'm like, my polarity's right. I didn't kill it. No, we're good. So this one is 192.168.1.29. Let's get into that. So this one is overclocked. It's overclocked. It's at 1.2 terahash, guys. That's not really a massive overclock. Okay, so now because it's on a different power supply than it used to be on, we have an error rate of 1.04. We're going to let it run for just a second and see if it dips below 0.0. I want it under 0.5. And so far it's coming down. If it's over 0.5, it's got too much error rate and you're going to need to adjust the measured ASIC voltage and frequency. So it is a little high, so I'm going to go into settings and I'm actually going to bring this up to 12.05 and see if that helps. This is what I want you guys to watch with these Bitaxes. If this dips below 5, you're going to start to get weird errors, okay? And yeah, we're great. Our error rate is fantastic. 0.07. We're in great shape. Now, I'm going to plug in the other Bitaxe, but there's a solid chance it's going to overheat. That's for another video. Um, if you've watched my videos before, you know that the Solo Satoshi 602s I've had have been running warm. I think their thermal paste is done. So I think it's time to change that thermal paste on those. So that's for a whole other video. I'm gonna do a full bare tear down of that board. So I think we're in good shape with that one, guys. I don't think we need to adjust anything else. That's good. Put that right there. And we can go put that one back on the rack out in the storage room. Okay, I'm gonna unplug this. We'll pause the video real quick. We'll plug in the Solo Satoshi and see what happens. So hang on a second. Okay, so we're back. We're going to plug in the Solo Satoshi one, but just as a heads up, this one's probably going to overheat. I've been having trouble with it running very warm. Like I said, I think the thermal paste is done. And I'm going to mod this one, and I'm going to show you a little trick that I learned with these. So let's go ahead and plug it in. Now remember, the Solo Satoshi one uses a different plug. It uses the 2.1, and that's why I have these two like this. This is my testing unit for my desktop now, just as a refresher there. So let's go ahead and take a peek over at the Solo Satoshi one. I already have it, had it pulled up already. So I have it technically underclocked right now. Our input voltage is a little high, so or a little low actually. It's at 4.9. That's the difference in wire, guys. The wire can change the input voltage that you read on the dashboard. So it's actually a 4.8. So let's go ahead and turn up the input voltage so we can get it in the right spot. See if you can see that as I'm going to try to adjust this just a touch. Okay, so we're at 4.9. We're in a safe zone. Our ASIC is already getting ready to start. It's at 65.9, and I actually have this one in the S19 mode so that it just goes 100% on the fans. So this one has been, like I said, it's been slightly problematic for me. Both of my Solo Satoshis have. We'll do a video about that here soon. But yeah, so it's already going to overclock or overheat. It's getting close. So let's go ahead and shut it down before it gets too hot. But that's how you set up a power supply, guys. Some basic tools. Honestly, drop some money on a cheap meter. It'll be worth it, I promise. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. You can find me over on X at sin_division or on the Jellyfish Discord at, I'll leave a link for that in the bio. So thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.